how do you plant, or how do you make sure that your DNA, the way you think, the way you approach leadership, the way you approach impact, what you said, that many people, how do you keep that intact? How do you get people focused with that many people on the balance card KPIs you've spoken about?
KPIs, So one of the articles I was lucky enough to write for the Business Influencer magazine was about getting the middle right. So it talks about the management. So everybody talks about leadership. Talk about staffing and so forth, and we talk about in this particular article I talk about really focusing on your management staff, and this is where I tend to spend most of my time. So people talk about working on your business, and I talk predominantly about working on the people who are working in your business. So this is about middle line management. They're the front line. They're really the influencers in your business. And in a way, we have a sort of a partnership relationship where if they're more in tune with your thinking, your way, your culture, your beliefs, your values, how things work, then you're able to hopefully get that throughout the organization.
But how do you get that seeping through the organization? How do you, sitting where you are, make sure that the person on the sharp end does what you want? So that's quite a challenge.
It is, and a lot of it is about firstly attracting the right people.
Okay.
So this is really if we talk about getting people on a bus, so it's about putting people on that bus, in terms of the right people on the bus. So that will be about their character, that will be about their sort of their competency and character. You can look at behaviors, you can look at their integrity and so forth, and then you look at the competency elements. So knowledge, skills and behaviors, you get that right, and we know there's a skill shortage, we know it's difficult out there, and you've got to be constantly recruiting. So always be recruiting is a theme that we have. So constantly looking for people, and then really trying to embed your culture in terms of what that is, what that looks like, what does that feel like. So this is about the unwritten rules as well as written rules. So it's not just about your purpose statements and mission statements and all of those sort of things, but it's also being as close as possible to the front line and really understanding that the attention to detail. So a lot of leaders look at the big picture, as I say, the sort of the telescope effect in terms of looking far out, but it's also having the microscope in terms of the attention to detail. And I know Ninder, you put a lot of detail in terms of what you do and how you do things, and I think that detail is absolutely vital in terms of us and how we see things and how we and what we look at, and it's about picking that up. It's not always about going in there and knocking people, but it's also picking that up, looking for the improvements, looking for the constant sort of small improvements regularly to deliver and have an innovation within the culture. And there's a lot of themes there in terms of making sure that everybody has sort of a competency plan, they have a performance development plan, they have appraisals that work. That's very important. Not just about the KPIs. I mean, yes, KPIs are words that are branded around a lot, but also the data. So we have this thing about the integrity of that data, whatever that data sells, but also have a story behind that as well. What's the narrative behind that data? So we have a data team, management information systems. That data team gives us indication of where things are, and then we can hone in on where we can see trends or problems and so forth, and you can pick things up. So that's like a radar really for us in terms of picking that up. So it's really having that dashboard that works for you as a business leader, having competency frameworks that work for that particular job. So every job is identified, key job descriptions are there. The person that's doing the job understands what they're supposed to do. So if their understanding of the job is the same as yours, that's always a big thing. Performance development plans, have appraisals, as I said, but also be in a position where you're continuously developing teams. So we try and break things down into teams, because yes, you can have an organization that's 850 people, but you're not going to work with 850 people. So there's going to be core teams, and what we talk about is, a team isn't just about you working with people. A team is about you working together, so everybody is better and makes you stronger. So if we're part of a team, your job is to make everybody better within that team, and how does that team work and
What's
function?
the biggest challenge for you then, running that many people? What's the biggest challenge?
A lot of quite a bit of it is getting the people in the first place.
Yeah.
So you're continuously seeking people, you're continuously looking at things, and I think it's Jim Collins who actually said it's not about strategy, it's not really about what you're going to do, but who's going to do it, and it's about the who really, and a lot of that is about attracting the right person. When you're talking about the people that we need. It's they've got a lot of choice. They'll come to you because they have choice. It's not they'll come to you because they have no choice. So it's people that wanna come to you, and it's about people behind the brand. So people attract people. We obviously you know the sales term as well. People buy from people, but people are attracted to people as well. So that people brand, and you and I have had this conversation. Is absolutely vital. What does that brand look like, and who are the people behind that brand? And it's really creating these the personalities, the individuals there that will hopefully attract other people.